So today I've done you a pudding as well, although this particular pudding would not go with today's meal, which is your chicken chorizo. I'd put this with your slow roast pork. So I'm numbering the desserts with a D. So this is number 1D because it goes with your number 1, which is your roast pork. There are a couple of deliberate mistakes because it's a bit like my knitting, there's always a mistake. So the 2 teaspoons of cinnamon is much too much. Use a 1/4 of a teaspoon, it'll be enough for you just to have that background taste. And bizarrely, the 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter turned into 3 in my case. It doesn't matter, it's even better. The base of the dessert is Portuguese. It's not a bit like your childhood rice puddings, or my childhood. You probably didn't have childhood rice puddings. And my grandmother made it for me, and it was sort of it went in with a roast on a Sunday, and it was as dry as old socks, and it had a skin on it like I don't know what. I was slightly lactose intolerant and hated milk, but I loved the skin. So with this one there isn't any skin because it's cooked on the stove top in a saucepan. I hope you enjoy it. I'm just about to have some of mine in spite of us having rice for mains as well. So enjoy and carry on cooking. I thought I'd give you another dessert today. So it's going to be rice pudding. So we need 1 cup of pudding rice. That's not risotto rice, not long grain rice, not basmati rice, but pudding rice. 6 cups of milk, 1/4 of a cup of white sugar or sweeteners, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, which is optional, 1/4 of a cup of sultanas, which is optional, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter, 1/2 cup of condensed milk, and 1/4 of a cup of cream, which is optional. So here are all the ingredients. You've got the 1 cup of pudding rice. It'll be 6 cups of milk, 1/4 of a cup of white sugar or sweeteners, not 1/4 of a cup of sweeteners, just as many, the equivalent of. 2 teaspoons of cinnamon or cannelle in France, which is optional. 1/4 of a cup of sultanas, which is also optional. 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter, 1/2 a cup of condensed milk, and 1/4 of a cup of cream, which is optional, but of course it'll be going into mine because I'm the queen of dairy. Into a large saucepan, I've now put my cup of rice and my 1/4 of a cup of white sugar. I'm now going to add my 6 cups of milk. There's one of my 6 cups of milk, so I'm just about to put that one into the pan. So there's the 6 cups of milk with the rice and the sugar in the pan. Just stirring it round now. The gas is on, but just gently. I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of the vanilla extract. There's number 1. There's number 2. Okay, swizzle it around to get all the extract off the spoon. And then you're going to stir that until it boils. And that's going to be boiling and bubbling away for about 20 minutes until the rice thickens. Again, with this one, do not leave the pan. You can be getting on with other things in the kitchen, but just make sure it doesn't stick to the bottom, and you stir occasionally after the initial coming to the boil. I don't like cooked sultanas, so they're going to go back into the cupboard. And I'm only going to put 1 spoonful of the cannelle in because we're not very fond of it in rice, but I think it just needs a little bit of something in there, so just 1 teaspoonful of the cinnamon. So just one teaspoon, 1 very small spoon of the cannelle for us, but 2 for you guys. Add all the cinnamon in now. but that'll all boil through in a minute, it won't be long. Right, the milk's about to come to the boil now. I've been stirring it constantly, so it's nearly time to turn that down and keep stirring for about 15 to 20 minutes. There it comes now, so there it is bubbling away. I'm stirring it all the time. I'm not leaving the kitchen, so it's quite safe. But just make sure it doesn't stick to the bottom, otherwise you'll have horrible burn bits in there. There it is, still bubbling away, and you can see that the rice is starting to swell up. What we're actually waiting for is the rice to release the starch in it to make it nice and thick. It's taken the full 20 minutes and now you can see it's really thick and the rice is cooked. I've tasted it, and yes, the starches are coming out. I'm just going to give it another 3 minutes, so it'll be 23 minutes I'm giving mine. That should do the trick before I add the condensed milk and the butter. So it's really nice and thick now. All the rice, the starch is out of that rice. It's nice and sticky and lovely. And I'm just about to add the last couple of ingredients, the condensed milk and the butter. When the rice is cooked, we're going to add the half a cup of condensed milk and 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter. Just for you to have an idea of how much 3 tablespoons is, I've just marked a pack of butter, which is ½ pound, 225 grams here, into half, then half again, and then down the middle. And what it's given me is 3 lumps of about 1 ounce in weight, and they'll be about 3 tablespoons. If you think it's too much, add less. I don't think it's too much, so I'm adding all of it. Okay, it's still bubbling away, so Johnny's come to help with the filming now. You must be wondering where he is today, but it's gone cold, so he's had to chop wood, a little hunter-gatherer. So there's the ½ cup of condensed milk going in now. So good. Yum, 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 yum. And give that a stir around. And the 3 tablespoons of butter. 2, 3. Okay, they'll melt in a second. Then, apart from the cream, it's almost ready to eat. So once the butter's melted, I'll add the ½ cup of cream, which is optional, but it's not optional here because we have to have it. But if you can get your hands on clotted cream, even better. So there's ½ cup of cream. Well, actually it's a ½ cup because we're piggies. And I'm just adding that now to the rice pudding. Giving it a stir around. And there it is, done. The pinky colour is from the cinnamon. And as I said, if you don't like the cinnamon, you can just leave it out. It does add a little bit to it, so it's quite nice, really. There it is. Enjoy. Just about to try it now. If you want to add some jam, school days rice pudding, you can, but it really doesn't need it. Or you can put some fruit, some peaches, some raspberries, some strawberries in it. Whatever you want to do. So, bon appetit. I just had a row from Johnny. Apparently I'm supposed to tell you or ask you, please can you follow me on YouTube as well as Facebook. So basically you look for Big Nanny's Lockdown, and that'll take you to all of the recipes. And if you can like it and share it, and if you want to subscribe, that's good. It doesn't cost anything, but you'll get the recipes direct on a daily basis. Thanks very much for that. Bye.